Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Morning Picks Preview Show of the College Football Tailgate. I am XFL Jim, joined as always by my man Eric, a.k.a. Uncle Rico. What's up, dude? What's up?
Cheers, my friend. Top of the morning to you. Still a little bitter, dude. We're sitting on that juicy Ohio State 12-1 to win it all after they lost to Michigan, and we got screwed by a field goal kicker. So what can you do?
Yeah, it sucks. It hurt, but I am happy at the very least that the playoff games, both of them, were thoroughly entertaining. And not blowouts.
A couple quick thoughts on that. I was watching it. I was still like
you were on your deathbed. You had just valiantly gone through the show.
I was on my deathbed, and I was watching. I was still visiting my folks. I'm back in the hood in Illinois now. And as soon as Michigan ran the Philly special on 4th down, I looked over to my old man. I'm like, TCU's winning this game. That just showed me Michigan was getting way too cute for the moment.
Well, also, like I've talked about this with Chase, he's dubbed it the Philly predictable at this point because so many people are doing it now.
Yeah.
I hate when people run it at this point.
Yeah, it's like just way too, like everyone knows what it is. It's just gotten way too predictable.
Like you could always bring out a flea flicker, and I'll always be excited. And I was excited.
If Michigan's O-line is as good as everyone says it is, and you're playing an undersized front, why don't you just put in with your big boys? I didn't think Michigan was going to be able to run the ball. I didn't think McCarthy was going to be able to lead you to a championship game. We had the first half under. I had TCU and plus the point, so
I had the first half under, and then I had my over was like 62, 63.
Mm-hmm.
That third quarter put everybody over, though.
Wasn't that like the biggest third quarter in the history of third quarters?
Yes.
Jeez.
In bowl season at the very least. And I even middled it during the live game. I got Michigan plus 9.5.
Look at you, man.
I was feeling real good.
Look at Jimmy boy.
Dude, I middled both those games. I got Ohio State like plus money, and then I got Georgia plus money.
I think the thing with Ohio State, I hated that play call where they got, oh my God, there's this play they ran that like they got a sack when they're way down. I think they're on the 25 in the fourth quarter. I mean, they had all the momentum. I didn't like the play call. And then Marvin Harrison Jr., him going out, really affected their passing game.
It did. It affected that quite a lot. But we're here to look to the future. Today's bowl games, the last day of bowl season before the national championship game. Eric, are you ready?
I am ready, my friend. Let's make some cheddar.
Up at number 1, Mississippi State taking on Illinois.
So look, I love Mike Leach. I really want to take Mississippi State here. But you just look at the history of what the air raid offense has performed during bowl season. So that means when they have extended breaks, it's all a timing-based system. They tend to come out of the gate a little bit slow. That is my worry here, that this offense, timing-wise, is going to struggle. I think Mississippi State's D is going to be able to hold Illinois' offense intact. But right now at this number of 3, this is just way too much steam for me to get involved. I'm just going to.
And a lot of places, I'm seeing 3.5. So the line I'm seeing right now, 3.5 for Mississippi State, over under 46, and plus 140 on the money line for Illinois. I actually like playing the under 46. I especially like playing the first half under of 22.
I would definitely like that first half under at 22. I'm not going to lie.
I'm going to play that all day. Do we think Mississippi State can get over? Their team total set at 23.
Yeah.
That's about right. Illinois at 21.5. I kind of want to take the under, though.
Yeah.
I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch it. Up next, The Citrus Bowl presented by Cheez-Its. Purdue taking on LSU. LSU's a 15-point favorite. Over under set at 54.5 plus 475 for the Boilermakers. It's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points, but we need to remember this. LSU was in the same position that Purdue was in last year, and they got boat raced. They're losing so many people.
Like that entire staff is gone.
Yeah, so many people.
Drew Brees is coaching in this game.
You know what pisses me off? When Brees retired, my buddy sent me a text message and says, "I bet you within 5 years he's the head coach at Purdue." And we
Does this count? Does this count?
I don't know. We're currently arguing about it.
Okay.
But I guess the bigger question is, did you hear these Twitter rumors that are going around about LSU?
No.
I mean, how, like, are we supposed to keep this G-rated or?
No, this is a PG-13 show at best.
It involves a certain running back, some coaches, one of the coaches being a female coach.
I think you've alluded to a decent amount.
And a certain party. The first word rhymes with Rex.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe a little bit off the field issues there. It's rumored that the wide receiver coach is going to be ousted after this game. One of the coaches is already left, and the alleged player isn't going to be playing.
Oh, interesting. I might. Okay, so in that case, what I'm going to do, here's my
look
play.
At Jimbo. Look at that, dude. Like, ooh.
First quarter under 13.
Okay.
Slow start to both teams.
All right. I like that.
Got a question right here. Are we betting Illinois at 3.5? I might.
You're tempted?
I'm tempted. 3.5 is a very tempting number to grab this Illinois team. Right now, I'm just on the under 46, though. Up next, Eric. Big one coming up. The Cotton Bowl. Tulane, USC. As of now, USC is sitting as a 1.5 point favorite, total at 66.5, plus 105 on the money line for Tulane. Tulane, this number's not going away. I think we were fishy about it when it started. It was like 2.5. Well, when it opened, it was like 6. And then if you didn't grab it early, it shrunk fast.
That 6 was there like 20 minutes, if that.
Yeah, it was not there very long at all.
This thing dropped down, and I think the main thing is yeah, I understand Caleb Williams is going to be playing, and I get that. However, they're going to be without 2 starting offensive linemen, and their offensive line struggled to protect as is. With that being said, I like Tulane here, man. I locked him in. I got him at 2.5. I think they're going to be able to get to Williams. I think they're going to be able to run the ball. And we need to remember, at the end of the day, all this stuff is about motivation. You have this team that was going to the college football playoffs if they beat Utah on such a swing. And now you're playing in the Cotton Bowl against Tulane. And we talked about it. We needed Tulane to still have their coach. We needed Tulane's coach to be there. There was all these rumors that he was going to go to Georgia Tech, but he stayed. And I really think that Tulane's going to be able to get to Williams. I think they're going to be able to move the ball. And I think this is kind of a letdown spot for USC because they're not in the college football playoff, as crazy as it sounds.
I can believe that. 66.5 is a lot of points. I still lean to the over.
I really want to take that over too, man. Like, I really want to take that over too, but I'm
never going to not tout. I got it at 62.
But here's the thing, dude. One of the dudes, like, I have guys that send me picks, and I love all you guys that tell me what you're betting and everything, and like, please keep doing it. You know, I'll gladly give you my opinions. But there's this one guy, and this guy has to be the worst bettor I've ever met in my life.
Is it me?
No, it's not you.
Okay. That's
Like
all.
this guy, how can I word this politely? Doesn't have a track history of winning bets.
Okay.
And he sent me 3 days ago. I'm slamming the over 66.
Yeah, whenever your mush guy comes in and tells you that.
And he didn't use the term bet. He said slam. Like he's Dominique Wilkins. Old school. Jim, you know who Dominique Wilkins is?
I do.
Okay.
What I'm probably going to do in this one is I think Tulane's at least going to come out big. I'm going to take them first half and first quarter money line.
Okay. Well, I got the plus 2.5. I got 2.
I like the plus 2.5. I can't take him at 1.5. Maybe a live bet situation. Who knows? I'm just on the over still.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole thing is we've talked about it. USC, we feel, has been bluffs all year, and I really don't think that's changed.
That's fair. And we talked about the want to, but that Sugar Bowl is shaking my foundation of the want to, because apparently Alabama really wanted to be there.
Okay, well let's rewind there. They started out sleepy as hell, and K-State did not take advantage of the first 9 or 10 minutes. If K-State, I feel, would have got up 14-0, that game would have been completely different.
It very well could have been.
They allowed Alabama, which was a sleeping giant, to stay around.
Yeah, like I feel like once Bryce Young turns it on, and once he's in his zone, he's like the best player in the country.
Oh, he's
easily.
I can't wait for the Texans to beat the Colts, the Bears to lose. The Bears will have the top pick, and the Bears are going to trade it, and the Texans will mess up their franchise.
Yes. Yes, they will. Up next, usually my most anticipated bowl game. I don't think that's any different this year because it's super exciting, but this entire bowl season has been amazing. We got the Rose Bowl, Utah, Penn State. Right now we're sitting at Penn State -1, over under a 54. -105 on the money line for Utah. So I'm in a weird spot. I got Penn State plus the 3. I think I might just live bet this one for Utah if they get down. If I am like +3, +4.5, something like that.
So here's my thing. Like this is how I look at it. I took Utah. I got Utah plus 1.5, like when it opened way back when. Mm-hmm. How I look at it is this: you have at a number that small, it's basically a pick 'em. Okay, Kyle Whittingham 11-4 in bowl games. You have James Franklin. I almost called him Terry.
He's still Terry.
2-15 against top 10 opponents. 2-15. He doesn't win against these top teams, and that's almost a 20-game sample size that he's showing us he can't do that. Number 2, Penn State's top wide receiver is going to be out. When we did our preview, we thought they're going to be this great rushing attack. They've failed to live up to that.
Yeah, they haven't been great.
They've been terrible rushing the ball. Now you're without your best playmaker on the outside. And when we did our previews, we talked about how important it is to have a playmaker on the outside. And if they don't have that, that's going to allow Utah, who's already has the advantage in their defensive line versus Penn State's offensive line, to push down and win that point of attack and not allow the Penn State running backs to have those running lanes. Flip side, Penn State's best DB, Porter, he's not playing. So that's going to allow Utah to be able to throw the ball. Yes, I know Utah's star tight end isn't going to be playing, but I still think Utah has the advantage in the trenches. They're going to be able to run the ball on them.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's just like you said, it's Penn State against top 10 teams, against like the best teams that they play every year. They don't usually do great. Jeffrey up in here. Love the Utes. I also love the Utes. Also, as a statement of principle, in a Rose Bowl, I'm going to take the over. I'm taking the over 54 in this Rose Bowl.
You like the over, big man?
I do, because every Rose Bowl for the last 5 to 8 years has gone over. Rose Bowl from 4 or 5 years ago was like the highest scoring bowl game of all time.
Really?
That Oklahoma-Georgia game.
Oh, that one doesn't count though.
That one does count.
That
Well,
one does-
last year Ohio State versus Utah smashed the over.
that was a fun game. That was a fun game.
That Penn State USC game.
I just don't trust Penn State's offense.
That's fair, and that's a valid point. I'm just going off of my gut here. This is my one gut play of the week. I'm taking the over in the Rose Bowl. And you know what? I'm going to take Utah money line.
So there's an interesting question. I don't know if Leach's passing is going to play a positive or negative. I really don't know. I mean, my big thing with that is the air raid is all timing. They haven't played for 4 or 5 weeks now. I think that's going to be the issue. And I have no stake in this game. Like I love Leach for what he did. Tragic. These are 20-year-old kids, and that's basically like your dad when you're at college passing away. I
feel like you'll know right away whether or not they're still like taking it that way, or if they're like, we always talk about it. It's dark, but we talk about it a lot with sports. Is they like a player has a relative or a sibling or someone pass away, they come out and they play lights out.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how that affects things. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, like you said, we're gonna get really early. We're gonna see how it affects them.
So another question, Bobby Thomas is, what's up with Grayson McCall staying at Coastal?
That really shocked me. Like I don't know.
He just really loves that Tim Beck style.
Well, let's take a step back. A place that got a quarterback. Like maybe he wanted to go to Notre Dame. Maybe I don't know off the top of my head what places needed a quarterback that got one, and that was maybe as his top of his list. Or maybe he isn't as smart. Maybe his grades aren't that good and he couldn't get into these schools. But then I was like thinking, if you're
that works for like the ACC.
Yeah. If you're Auburn, you're definitely going to let him in. Or 4 or 3, look, maybe he's just like, hey, you know what? I'll go here. I'll dominate another year. I'm going to enjoy my last year in college.
There's probably something to the fact that like he's been that school and that team for his entire career.
Yeah.
There probably is something to that where like, oh, he's coming back because if he didn't get like you were saying, if he didn't get the perfect offer, if he didn't get exactly where he wanted to go for what he wanted, then he's probably coming back and he's living it out in the Sun Belt another year.
I for the life of me, I don't understand why he didn't go to Auburn. There's got to be something there.
Maybe.
I don't know. It just does. Him in a Hugh Freeze offense, I think, would have been money. You see what Malik Willis did. It would have been great.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about.
We're pondering here.
We got 2 more games to look forward to, Eric. Let's do a little look ahead right now. The FCS championship is set. It's a banger. We got North Dakota State versus South Dakota State. The historically best team in the FCS, and then the best team this year. South Dakota State's a 4.5-point favorite with an over of 47.5 plus 165 on the money line for North Dakota State.
I'm gonna take the first half under, whatever that is, and I'll take North Dakota State for the first half too.
First half 23.5.
Yep, I'll take the 23.5, and I'll take North Dakota State for the first half.
Plus 120. Love it. They're playing, of course, as always, in Frisco, Texas.
Great time. Frisco, Texas.
Then we have the national championship, SoFi Stadium, and every time I talk about SoFi, I will mention it is right across the street from my favorite bakery in LA, TCU, Georgia.
Is that where you got that Italian sandwich?
No, I think that was in Berkeley, but they have like a lot of velvet cakes and my favorite banana pudding.
I had a red velvet cookie the other day. I've never had.
Oh, they got those too, and they're bomb.
I mean, I've had a red velvet cake, red velvet cupcake, but never a cookie. It was pretty good.
Yeah. TCU, Georgia, the national championship. Georgia's a 13.5-point favorite. Over under 63, plus 360 on the money line. Is this where TCU's Team of Destiny story ends? Or do they cap off maybe one of the most amazing seasons I've ever seen?
At this number, I'm not doing anything right now. I want
if it gets over 14, I'm taking TCU.
Yeah, if it gets to 14, I'll take TCU.
They find ways, dude. I don't know how. They just find ways to win.
They find ways to win. But on the flip side, is Georgia a team of destiny with how they came back against Ohio State? They were dead in the water.
They were, but like, I don't think TCU played particularly amazing against Michigan and still pulled it out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Give me whatever. By the way, I'm also taking the first half under in this game.
Yeah,
31 and a half. 31 and a half.
I'm going to take the first half under, then I'm going to take the traditional second half, more points in the first half.
Yeah, I'm going to do that for sure. I think that'll do it. That'll do it for our college football. What's your favorite play of the day? What's your favorite play today, Eric?
You know it. Give me the Utes, baby.
Yeah, I'm lockstep with you there. Give me the Utes. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for paying attention to the college football tailgate. We'll be back again to give you our preview of the national championship, to give you our recap of the whole season. We love you guys, and we'll see you next time.